imported beers. Today we're going to look at a German beer, Schöfferhofer Crystalweizen.
It's Schöfferhofer.
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 Whatever. This German beer is actually owned by a conglomerate that made its first fortune in the 19th century making cake mixes.
Yeah, now there's two readily available Schöfferhofers on the market. There's the Hefeweizen and the Crystalweizen. Hefeweizen is an unfiltered yeasty wheat beer. Hefe being yeast and Weizen being wheat. This is the Crystalweizen, which is a filtered version and hence crystal clear.
There's two main wheat beer styles sold in Australia. There's the Belgian style and the German style. The German style, this one's flavoured with hops. The Belgian style, like Hoegaarden, is flavoured with coriander and orange peel. So what do you think of this one?
Oh, it's beautiful. I know some people are a bit scared of wheat beers. They don't like them very much, but I don't know why, because I love them. And I mean, just look at it. It's crystal clear, high carbonate, nice, beautiful, fluffy head, and complex smell and beautiful taste. Very complicated taste. I think it's a bit sort of fruity in some ways. Go very well with me with like fried food, you know, like schnitzels and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a real winner for me.
How many points, mate?
3.5.
Oh, okay, you're a hard man, Robert. Now, look, this is a bit confronting for some people because of the complexity on the nose. It's almost a bit medicinal, but once you get past that, it's really blooms the flavour in your mouth. This is really beautiful beer. I think it goes very well with smoked food, you know, like smoked chicken, smoked trout. I'd give this beer 4 stars out of 5. It's an absolute classic. It's beautiful.
Hi, my name is Enzo, and every week I'm going to show you how to make any recipes with beer. And this week we're making chocolate filled with beer jelly. For the jelly we have honey, we have soaked gelatin leaves, vanilla pods, and beer. And the chocolate has been melted at bain-marie very slowly. We'll put this back on top. Let's make the beer jelly. We have some seeds coming off from the vanilla pods, which we are going to put into a pot. 50 ml of beer. In this case, we're using a robust porter, nice and sweet. Into the pot. 1 teaspoon of honey. And we'll leave it in here, so it melts down. And the gelatin leaves, they've been soaked in cold water. And when they're nice and soft, we'll just take them out and squeeze the excess water, add it into the pot. Just melt it very gently down until the gelatin leaves are all melted. So the gelatin is being melted, you see that? It's not hot, don't take it to boil. Just make sure that all the components are melted. And we put this aside to cool down. In the meantime, we put a bain-marie, warm up the chocolate a bit more so it's more pliable. And make sure this is just normal chocolate. And we're going to make chocolate shells. To make chocolate shells, I have this molding here. It's just an ice mold, if you want to call it in that way. We're going to put some chocolate into it. Like so. Oops. And we're going to scrape some off. And tap on the bench just to get the excess air out. And then the excess of the chocolate out. There you go. These are the shells. They're going to go into a fridge to rest for 2-3 minutes. Oh yes, they're looking fantastic. And what we're going to do now is, I'm using the syringe because it actually gives me a nice clean job, and I know I'm going to put the right amount of jelly into each chocolate shells, and try to be nice and neat and tidy without making too much mess. And we're going to put this in the fridge for 2-3 minutes, let it set, and we're going to cover the top of the chocolates. Here we come. Our jelly should be set by now. Oh yes. And we are about to put the rest of the other chocolate. Yeah, it's nice and set. And what we do, same way, we just put the chocolate on top of it. Like so. We have to make sure that the chocolate is not too hot or too warm, otherwise we melt straight away the jelly. And what we need to do is just to scrape the chocolate, the extra chocolate out, like so. And it's going to be our last setting in the fridge until the top, they go hard and they be ready to come off the shell. Okay, our chocolates are done and they're ready to come out of the shell. Yeah, they're nice and set. And see if they're coming out. A bit of pressure. Yep, last one, here we go. And these are the chocolates. They are beautiful, really love them. Bit of Coke on top, just to give a little bit more bitterness. Nice chocolate filled with beer jellies.
Okay, today's beer style is amber ale. Today we'll be looking at amber ale, and this is the style for people who like a bit more oomph in their beer than just your average everyday lager.
The style evolved in the United States. It's a relatively modern style and has been picked up pretty successfully by a number of Australian smaller brewers. Now this is a malt-driven style where they use coloured malts which give it the amber colour or that light copper colour. And a byproduct of using these coloured malts is you get some interesting toffee-like aromas and flavours in the beer. But these beers are low hop bitterness, so they're very drinkable. Now the third component is the yeast, and you get some fruity characters from the yeast because these beers are ales, they're not lagers. You know, they're bottom fermented, and the yeast fruity component's quite important. So they are a good way of people getting past the bog standard Australian lager and experimenting with a few beers. So the first one, Robert?
Well, we've got two amber ales today. We've got Three Troopers from the Beaufort Brewery near Ballarat, and we've got Hawthorn Amber Ale. Now, the Three Troopers, straight away I got a sort of lemony smell off this and a sort of burnt caramel taste. Nice body, but it's a bit sort of thin in a way. No, a bit thin, I thought. Yeah, yeah, but quite a nice beer though. 2.5 stars.
Yeah, well, I didn't get that lemony at first, but I got these sort of quite nice malty wheat bix type characters. And I agree with you, the body, it's maybe it just needs a little bit more alcohol to have been fermented into this beer. But the hops are true to style. This beer is true to style, and it's very drinkable. It's very easy to drink. Yeah, 2.5 stars. It's good beer.
Yeah, whereas the Hawthorn, you know, a bit darker in style, in colour. It's almost brown rather than amber. Nowhere near as complexity a nose. It's got a bit of a caramel feel to it, and a bit thin too as well. And it went from being quite fizzy to quite flat very quickly in my glass. And I'm not very impressed with this beer. I'd give it 2 stars.
Yeah, I'm even less impressed. I think it's not actually pleasant. It seems to have almost fallen to bits in the glass. I'm not quite sure what's happening there. I wasn't attracted to this beer at all. Just my thoughts. 1 star out of 5.
Well, that's all for this week. Next week, we'll catch up with Ben and his microbrewery. Enzo, the chef, will give us more hints on cooking with beer. We'll visit another microbrewery and, of course, taste more beer.
Have a look at our website, www.thebeerfrontier.com.au. And the first 3 viewers who send us an email telling us what they think of Stella Artois will receive a free The Beer Frontier t-shirt.
Thank you for watching.
Good night.